In nature, size is not always synonymous with victory. In a world where the law of the fittest seems to reign supreme, there are creatures so small, so seemingly harmless, that they are capable of taking down giants with techniques as cruel as they are ingenious. These are the unlikely killers, beings that most would ignore until it's too late. Let's start with the tarantula-hunting wasp, also known as the nightmare wasp. Just a few inches long, it can take on one of the most feared spiders on the planet. How? With a precise, paralyzing sting. The wasp injects a neurotoxic venom directly into the tarantula's nervous system, completely immobilizing it. But it doesn't kill. Not yet. Instead, it drags the spider alive to its burrow and deposits a single egg in its abdomen. When the larva hatches, it begins to devour the tarantula from the inside, keeping it alive for as long as possible so that the meat is fresh. This is nature at its most brutal. And what about the cone snail, a creature as beautiful as it is deadly? Found in tropical reefs, it seems harmless, but it hides a chemical weapon so powerful that it can kill a fish, or even a human being, in seconds. It launches a tiny, almost invisible harpoon loaded with a mixture of toxins capable of completely paralyzing the victim's nervous system. There is no antidote. A single cone snail has enough venom to kill 20 humans. A killer disguised as a jewel. In the Amazon, the arrow frog is another living weapon. Its name comes from indigenous use. Amazonian tribes rub their arrows on the skin of these frogs to create lethal darts. A single frog can contain enough venom to kill up to 10 adult men. The curious thing is that, in captivity, this venom disappears. It is produced only based on the frog's wild diet. In other words, the frog's venom is not only biological, it is cultural and adaptable. And who would have guessed that the bullet ant, one of the smallest creatures in the forest, would have the most painful sting in the animal kingdom? The pain is described as walking on hot coals with nails in your feet. Although rarely lethal, its toxin can cause temporary paralysis and delirium in humans. For a smaller animal, it can be enough to knock them out permanently. In the water, the stonefish reigns in stealth. Buried in the sand at the bottom of the sea, it looks like just an ordinary rock. But if stepped on, it activates dorsal spines that release a powerful venom, causing excruciating pain, muscle necrosis, and even cardiac arrest. It doesn't chase, it waits, and when it strikes, it is fatal. These little killers remind us that in the wild, in the water, or in the air, true strength is not always in size, but in strategy. While lions roar and sharks scare, it is the discreet ones, the nearly invisible ones, who often carry the most lethal weapons on the planet. The next time you see a tiny insect, a colorful frog, or a simple snail, it might be worth keeping your distance. Because in the animal world, the giants aren't always the ones who win. Did you already know about these animal species? Which one impressed you the most? Leave your comment, like, and share with those who love raw nature, and subscribe now. Because here, each episode reveals a world few dare to explore. And in the jungle, true warriors don't need to be big to be deadly.